Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. We are a man down this week. So it is just me, Abigail, Nate.
We have 4.
But I was gonna introduce her.
You waited too long.
So we do have a stand-in woman this week. This is Moo Webb. This is Moo Webb. Moo Louise Webb.
Moo Louise Webb.
I thought it was Lewis.
It's Lewis, like, for fun.
Okay.
But
on paper,
registered name is Louise. Moo Louise. Government name is Moo Louise.
Moo Louise.
So Moo is going to be a good girl. We're trying to integrate her into being a farm dog. Because, you know, when you do finally get to move into the house down the road, there's going to be chickens. There's going to be animals. We don't really know what kinds yet. Moo needs to be around things. So she took a little stroll through like the mini barn today. She met 7 face to face.
Wow, how was that?
No leash. Like I held her.
Yeah.
She sniffed him. He didn't care. He
He
eating.
didn't care.
So I sat her down. She did like a little walk around, and then she just didn't care.
Didn't care. She did pee in my hallway.
She peed in the mini barn. Yeah.
Yeah, not in the shavings.
She thought that was what farm dogs
Would
did,
do.
though.
She was
Yeah.
cosplaying a farm dog.
That's right.
She thought that was what everyone wanted, so that's what she was doing.
How are your dogs with the donkeys?
We kind of took a pause on it and never went back because when we had Dolly and Dolly and Pretzel was just a little baby, everybody hung out and was fine. But one time Suey was trying to play with Pretzel and Dolly didn't like it.
Oh, and
so she kind of like went after Suey and we were like, okay, we should probably be paying a little more attention. We'd got a little lax about it. And since then, they've always had a fence between them.
So donkeys are very, I wouldn't say predatory. I would say protective, and they can be scary.
It was scary.
Like, especially against dogs, coyotes, things like that, canines. Because, like, we used to have a donkey with our cows. Rooster, God love him, God bless. He is he is over the Rainbow Bridge. It was right before you started that we lost Rooster.
Yeah.
He was like 30 years old. But, you know, we then tried to have like a replacement. Not a good idea. Like, he was just special because he would be out with the cows. Like, if a mama was having her baby, he would stand there with them, like, as just a like comforting presence.
Yeah.
And we never lost a calf while he was out there to a coyote or anything. And then the first year we didn't have him, we lost 2 to coyotes.
Dang.
I know, because the coyotes will actually like hang out while they're calving and then, you know, attack while the baby is like itty bitty.
Yeah.
And they do it in really disgusting ways. So we tried. His name was Goose. I'm sorry. Does that make you feel better about coyote hunting?
Yeah.
So we had a replacement that was actually brought in while Rooster was still living. His name was Goose. And Goose had been out with cows, but they were grown cows. It wasn't really like, I think it was like steers and like 18-month-old cows, not cow-calf pairs.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a whole lot of little cows running around, you know? And we had him like in a fence where that he could share a fence line. You know, he was like totally fine. We finally got him integrated with a mama and cow, or mama cow and calf, probably like 10 pairs. Well, that was fine until we started having to like add in a couple more.
Yeah.
And then as soon as there was like an addition, he grabbed one of the calves by the neck and was going to kill it. And I'm so glad I had a feed bucket sitting there. If I hadn't had a feed bucket, I don't know what my dad would have done. But I had a feed bucket there, and my dad ran out there with the feed bucket, and luckily he let the calf go. And then he left 2 days later.
Spooky.
Because my dad was like, these calves, no, we are not risking these calves like that. And so we haven't had a donkey since then out with our big cows. Dorothy and Blanche are out with the minis. And so I think that'd be cool if they like it out there, and they seem like they like it out there. Like when Poppy and Petunia and Pippa are like calving, then it'd be cool that they're out there with them. But like, all this to say, they're good for that because they hate canines.
Yeah.
Like it's bred into them.
Through the fence, they're great. They'll touch noses, sniff each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Steele might sneak a little lick on the nose, but we haven't put them back together since that episode.
I'm so grateful to say that we have a sponsor for today's video. So let's talk a little bit about June's Journey. So June's Journey has been something that I've been playing a lot recently due to foaling season. I mean, we don't want to sit and look at each other all the time, okay? When we're sitting waiting on these baby horses, we have to have something to occupy our time. And I've been on a true crime kick, so that's where June's Journey comes into play. June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game, a captivating detective story taking you back to the glamour of the 1920s with a diverse cast of characters. Each new scene takes you further through a thrilling murder mystery story set in the 1920s that sets the main protagonist, June Parker, in a quest to solve the murder of her sister. It's a relaxing game and provides an escape, lightly challenging in a way that is still relaxing, but allows you to put your sense of observation to test and keep your mind fresh. This is a free-to-download mobile game where you have to find objects hidden in beautiful, colorful, carefully crafted scenes. You can customize, remodel, and fix your mansion and garden island. I've had a blast playing June's Journey again through foaling season. There's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of late nights where I want to keep my mind busy and fresh and stay awake, and it has been a great escape. Download June's Journey for free by clicking the link below in the description or through the QR code on the screen. June's Journey is available on Android and iOS mobile devices, as well as on the PC through Facebook Games. Again, thank you, June's Journey, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it.
And I mean, that's something to be said about, can you really trust them? Because like, I know even little wiener dogs have been bred to hunt and been, there's like this there's this drive in them. So like with your chickens, she might seem fine. And then one day she's like, you looking real tasty.
We did find out there was one spot at the very back of our fence line that Suey could army crawl through like this little hole. And so she's actually gotten into the pen with the donkeys like 3 or 4 times. We're always like, we go into like a panic, and she gets out really fast. We're like, come here. And she goes back and crawls back through. But we couldn't figure out where it was. Because I was like, how is she getting through? And then finally we found this part that could be like pushed up. But we fixed it, and now.
Because it's scary.
It is.
I mean, that's why I don't like Kimmy, because Kimmy is 7 pounds soaking wet. Okay, Kimmy is itty bitty. She can't take like a warning, like any large animal that like warned her with a bite or a like whatever, she gone.
Yeah. That is our benefit, is they're all like 60, 100-pound dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're usually fine.
Okay, well, we do have a couple of new things happening this week. We got some new additions to the fam. So, picture of Zelda and Libby.
Zelda.
Yeah, so our new barn kitties that we got like last year, we started off the theme with Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
So we had Salem, Sabrina, Hilda, and Harvey.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Harvey. And you know what I want to point out? Everyone was so quick to jump on Annie when Annie bit Millie. But no one has even questioned Charlotte for murdering Harvey.
I think it was a cat this big that got trapped in a stall with a horse.
He was this long by that point.
No, he wasn't.
Yes.
At max?
No. He was not that little.
Yes, he was.
I promise.
Yes, he
you.
was.
I saw his.
They were. I
was the
young.
one that found the body.
They were young still. He was not here for long.
He was probably.
I barely remember him.
4 months old. He was probably 4 months old because they spent a good month in
the tack room.
And then we started letting him out because he was out at night by that point.
Yeah.
So I bet he was about 4 months old. But we got 2 new ones. We're gonna protect them with our lives, and we got girls this time.
What was it, Zelda and
Zelda and Libby. So again,
Libby.
with the Sabrina the Teenage Witch characters. So Zelda and Hilda are the aunts. Harvey was Sabrina's boyfriend. So like we don't have Harvey now. And I feel like it's gonna be bad luck if we ever get another one and try to name it Harvey. Like is that
we can't
you
do
can't
that.
do that.
No.
and then
Could name him Hardly.
Libby was one of her friends. We had the choice between Jenny, Valerie, and Libby, and I gave it to Abigail to choose. So if you don't
Libby.
like
I chose
it,
Libby or
blame her.
Valerie, but then when I met her, she seemed more like a Libby.
Okay, that makes sense.
she's like that girl.
Sometimes you got to meet him first.
Zelda is very Zelda.
See,
But
I,
anyway.
I thought Legend of Zelda,
Well,
like the game.
if you have the whole like Hilda, Zelda, Sabrina, Salem, it
Right,
makes sense.
right.
It makes sense. And they are actually from 2 different litters. So I had 2 different friends. I like saw them pop up on Facebook that they both had litters like a week apart. And I was like, can I get I first went to one of them. I was like, do you have 2 girls? And they're like, no, I only have 1 girl. And it was kind of same for both of them. So I was like, can I have the girl? And so now they're besties.
Cool.
Is that good? Crisp?
Oh, so crisp. That kind of make your
So
teeth hurt.
I have a fridge in my kitchen that's like a drink fridge. Okay. So I stock it usually. I'm bougie and I like Fiji's, or like a nice big, crisp water bottle. I tell you what, if Nate is in the house, them Fiji's get just gone,
Those
Yeah.
Evians.
gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink it.
He also grabbed one of my sugar-free Red Bulls and said, I just want a couple sips.
That is true.
But you're the first one to like, if someone's like, can I try a couple sips? You'd be like, no.
Yes, but I have observed this group long enough to know.
He's going to say that
This-
he knows that I'll drink it after him.
I know for a fact it would not be a problem.
With me, it would.
With you, it would, but you wouldn't drink this anyway.
What if I won't drink it after you?
Well, then,
And then it's wasted.
we'll know for next time.
Then you just start wasting them.
No, I wouldn't do it anymore.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed you would finish it.
He's like, let me just get the little first swig.
I just needed like 1 or 2 hits.
What is like the maximum like caffeine you're supposed to have per day? I assume you know this off the top of your head.
I mean, you probably really don't want to go over like 250, 300.
Okay.
Milligrams?
So
Yeah.
I could finish that because I've had 2 of those today and they're 80 each.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I could
finish
have
it.
another.
How much is
A do?
I think they're like
how much is a
60.
do?
There's probably about 57 in there. 53. I'm going to guess 53.
See where it says caffeine, but where does it say the amount?
Wow, it's actually a little higher. 68.
Oh.
So the good thing is I only drink like the first half. I accidentally waste a lot of Mountain Dew.
So you're getting, 34 per can. What, you about 15 a day? 15, 16?
Cans?
You're about at that limit.
Yeah. you're inching up on it.
That's right.
Okay, so kittens. But then also, like we went from full watch to kid watch pretty quick. I don't know if it's going to be today or tomorrow, but we are having kids soon. And here's the thing. We know with Buttercup, there's a previous video we did preg checking the goats. If you haven't watched that, go do it, where we x-rayed them. And so you can actually see like the least amount that's in there.
So there's 1, 2, 3 skulls.
She sees 3 immediately.
4.
There's 4? Oh no.
So I'm gonna go with 3, but if 4 come out, don't be like stunned.
Oh my gosh, okay. And her least amount of kids is 3. Last year when she had 3, and she's way bigger this year. Way bigger. That doesn't mean necessarily that she has more, but I mean, she's huge. And so the least amount she has is 3, and last year when she had 3, I had to bottle feed 1. So I think I've discussed with a few different like dairy goat breeders that I've met like online. I've gone into some forums. I've like kind of talked to a couple of the breeders I know in person, and I was like, listen, what's the best? Do you supplement the weakest one to try to get it to where like it doesn't eat off of her as much, and like you make sure it's getting enough food, but it stays with mom, because she might still try to feed them all. But last year it was 10 days in when she was like, honey, I can't feed you anymore.
Yeah.
Honey was like the most aggressive eater, and she was like, get off me. She would let her hang out, but she wouldn't let her eat. And so I was like, okay, do we feed the most aggressive looking one? Do we feed the tiniest one? And pretty much everyone said it's your best bet to supplement all of them and just take over a feeding per day and like go from there. You might have to do an extra one on the little one, but like if you take all the babies off of mom, like for at least one feeding per day and get them full. But here's the one thing that I don't know, and you can tell me in the comments. Is it better to do 3 separate feedings? So I like feed one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening, so that they're not all like, because I know she could get mastitis if they're not nursing on her, which I guess they'd still go for like little nips. But I'm like,
And then you would have to do it.
right. But I'm like, do you get them all full at the same time?
Yeah.
Or do you get like one full at a time where she only has 2 nursing on her?
Right.
That's what I would think, maybe.
Like,
Space them out so that she's not overwhelmed with all 3 of them at one time.
right. Because I'm like, if I did them all at one time, then she just gets one break.
But I also wonder if you did that, if like the third one would still see the other ones and still be like, oh, I'm going to go eat too. And
I don't know. So if you're a goat breeder, because this is my second kidding season, this will only be my second time having to supplement. And I'm going into it knowing that I'm going to supplement. I'm not just having to be like, one of them's not eating, And so strategically speaking, what's better for the doe? And I guess it could be like every horse, like everything's different. Like, every doe's different. And we could try to supplement them all and see how she handles that. But yeah. I definitely know it's coming. It's going to be soon. She's huge. We can put up a picture of the giganticness of her. By the time this is posted, we probably will have babies because this will be next week. And so it's going to be really, really fun. But Nate, I've asked you before, now that we're like kidding season is upon us, are you thinking push off till next kidding season for some kids, or
What do these do?
these are dairy goats? You could milk them.
These are milk goats?
Now, if you got boys, you couldn't milk them.
Then
Which,
We'll see what we have. If I have a ton of girls, I can't keep them all.
So Macy did make the comment the other day, maybe we should get some milk goats.
These are dairy goats.
So maybe.
I don't know why. I just have like this feeling that it's going to be a boy year.
It was the bane of my existence once those babies turned to like 6 weeks old, trying to get them not to hump their moms.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Trying to
Those
get
little
them,
aprons.
trying to get them not, and I haven't yet figured out the best setup to like wean them that early. And I don't personally think it's the best to wean them that early. So like, do I have to keep them separate and then feed, like let them in with their mom just for feeding and watch them? I'm like, so we did, one of my does, we gave Louise because I didn't see him hump her, but I was like, you didn't have your apron on and you were around her a lot. And so I gave her Louise. We give it to I had a vet give it to me. I was like, what dose do I give it and stuff? But we give it to our horses to bring them into heat. And so if you give Louise to an animal when they're like super early in a pregnancy, it'll essentially cause her to absorb the pregnancy and come back into heat. Yeah, I don't want to have to do that though. So I'm like, what are some better options?
What happens in the wild?
They will breed their mom.
And then what?
Then you have little brother
goats.
sons. Then you have little brother daughters or little
How do goats
sister daughters
like survive?
Because apparently inbreeding in goats doesn't cause as many issues. Where you find the problems is like if brothers and sisters. This is all. Do not use this as like.
This isn't. We're not scientists right now.
We're not goat experts
a goat
here.
expert. From what I've heard, generally speaking, breeding like a daughter to to her sire is like a form of line breeding. So some people will do it purposefully.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't really cause issues. Where you run into like issues
Siblings.
is siblings. That's what I've heard. I don't think I'd do it. It's icky. I think I know I'd not do it, but you know.
Right.
I think it would just be like too icky in my head. Like
Yes.
even if it was guaranteed that there were no issues, I'd still be kind of like,
Like we have a cow that, and this is an interesting thing. Okay, so with our beef cows, we have this system called Right Mate, where we send in our heifers, our cows. It's a database because they're all registered Simmental. It takes into account their EPDs. It takes into account, because they're all DNA tested, their DNA, and then it pairs it with a bull database that is in the same. Like, I guess they can like release them to this database.
Yeah.
And it tells you which mate is the best. So it'll give you a list like, hey, for this cow, here's her top 10. And like her top 5 bulls are like the best bet or whatever. Well, one of ours came back. Her best pairing genetically was her half brother. And it was because genetically, because you don't get an even 50-50 from both parents when you're born. Like you and your siblings, unless you are identical twins, do not have the same DNA.
Yeah.
And so she got, they had a common sire. And so they both just got most of their DNA from their mom. And they barely shared DNA. And so they were like the right pairing.
Interesting.
I don't remember if we did it or not. But I'm just saying, like, genetically speaking, they weren't.
It's crazy you can even do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So I assume it's very similar with goats. I don't know deep into like the ADGA, the American Dairy Goat Association. You know, I don't know if they have those kinds of systems. I don't. But I assume it's very similar.
All the genetic stuff is crazy to me, because when Macy was pregnant, very early on, you can do the genetic test to find out the gender. Mm-hmm. And so we did that, but then there was also like an extra button you could click and get a lot more information.
Mm-hmm. I remember sitting on the plane and you going, because you got it like sent to your email. And you,
salty or sweet.
Yes, like, will
yeah.
they prefer that? Salty, sweet, what color hair, curly, straight, what color eyes?
but it was all like a percentage.
Yeah, what was the likelihood that those would be the things? So.
Have you gone back and looked at it?
No, not yet. I feel like everything's still changing. Like, I had super blonde hair as a baby, but I don't have blonde hair. So how will you really know for a while?
Right.
You know, it's funny, and I think about this all the time. I don't know if it's because of y'all's coloring, like your eyes and your whatever. Like, I would be like, oh yeah, Nate's like a blonde. And then like, I always thought of my husband as being a blonde because I knew him as a blonde kid. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, wait. And I look at him, I'm like, his hair is dark brown. What am I even saying?
Yeah.
But like in my head, I'm like blonde.
I
don't know. Maybe that I'm just weird that way.
I'm a little blonde. A little.
Because your beard is like light.
Yeah, I'm like
You're a strawberry
blonde with a little brown.
I was gonna say, I just see you as like
brown.
Kind
Red?
of ginger.
Really? It's just the beard.
That's just kind
Diet
of
ginger.
just how I see you. It's just like red hair. I'm like, oh, Nate has red hair.
Well, that's
See, I don't. I see him as like, no, he's like, he was for sure a blonde and he's just a dirty blonde now.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think it's your facial hair.
It's the beard.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the amount of, like my cousins, because we have a really high percentage of Irish, is they all are like dark-headed, whatever, straight up red beards.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Red.
It's crazy how it just changes colors on the face.
But anyway, so we're on Goat Watch. Right after Buttercup, we will have Bella and Blossom. Blossom, it'll be her first time. I swear they are going to have their babies while I'm gone. And you are going to have to be the midwife. How do you feel about that?
I would prefer it. I would not prefer that. But I would do it.
We do have
What choice do I have?
we do have a small livestock vet. So like there's definitely different types of vets. Like we have an equine vet, we have a there's like a vet we use that's basically specializes in cattle, like that kind of thing. There's a vet probably 15, 20 minutes down the interstate that they kind of specialize in all like smaller livestock. So sheep, goats, pigs, things like that. And so I told Rachel, I told Abigail, I was like, listen, unless it is like the most textbook, she is plopping them out birth, call them, give them a heads up, throw them in the back of my SUV and just take her to the vet.
Yeah.
Like you could get her there in 15, 20 minutes. Don't even play with it.
Yeah.
Don't even try to fix it yourself. Like just take them there. So that's the go-to.
That's the goat. Ooh.
This month,
like
me and
a
my husband
takeover.
are going on our honeymoon finally. I think I've talked about this before during these, but it's like finally happening. And when I tell you that is what I'm living for right now.
That trip.
That trip is why I'm just thriving. I'm like, whatever's happening, I'm leaving the country in
Yeah.
X amount of days and hours. I'm very excited. Me and Jonathan have been together almost 9 years, and we have never. Okay, I don't want to say never. We went on a 3-day trip when we got married to Clearwater, Florida. That is the only time in 9 years that we went on a trip that wasn't with family, wasn't with friends, was just us two going somewhere. And because we got married in the middle of COVID, we just kept saying like, oh, well, we'll do it next year. We'll do it next year. And then, we'd be moving or we'd be whatever. And we just never went. And so finally last like November, December, I was like, you know what? I'm booking it. We're booking dates, and whatever pops up, we can't do it that week because we're leaving.
I like that.
And so I booked us a trip to St. Lucia, which is where we were supposed to go in the first place, and got canceled. So very excited.
Oh, it looks cool.
St. Lucia? Yeah. Oh, we're staying in the huts on the water.
Wow. That's gonna
It's
be
like
so cool.
it's like a. Is it called a bungalow?
I don't even
Or
know.
I don't know what it's called, but it's got like, it's a hut and you can like see fish through the floor, and it has literally outside of the bedroom, you like walk out and there's a tub and there's a ladder that goes down into the water, and you're like in the blue water, like literally outside of your tub. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And so I am excited that we get to go a little bit, we do get to go bougier now that we've waited.
Yeah.
We did not have the funds to do a full week-long trip before, or like this extent. So I'm excited that we're getting to do that and just be together and no agenda. We didn't book a single excursion. We didn't book a single thing because we were like, we're not going to have to do anything when we get there.
Right. And if you want to, you can.
Exactly. We're like, there's not going to be an itinerary. There's going to be like, if we decide that we are just laying,
Yeah.
then that's what we're doing. So that's what we're going to do. And then,
Jonathan, he's going to get him a lay in.
oh, for sure.
He's going to get it. He did in Florida. Which, I mean,
He loves to lay out. He likes to just bake.
we all kind of split off
He
for
went-
our own separate activities.
He went and
said,
got a skin cancer cut off the other day.
Really? That stinks. Where was it?
Right on his stomach. Like,
Interesting.
I've been telling him forever. I'm like, so that looks disgusting. Like, you need to go get that checked out.
Yeah.
And he's very just like, "Meow, meow." And he finally went to the dermatologist, and the doctor walked in, and she was like, oh yeah, that's skin cancer. She was like, absolutely, that's skin cancer.
Crazy.
And so they biopsied it and everything, but it doesn't stop him.
Yeah, Macy had to have one taken off. She still has stitches.
Yeah, he's got like a little like crater out of
Yeah.
his stomach. So
Gross.
Hers is in the shoulder.
luckily, if I do get skin cancer, it's gonna be here
Yeah, that's where you burn.
because I have hats on quite a bit,
You wear them shirts, though.
but I wear a V-neck shirt, and I'm like, my legs, they're gonna be fine. They hadn't seen the light of day in a long time. Or like here and here. That's like the only place that gets very consistent sun.
Yeah.
And I feel like I look 10 years older right here. Like, that's where the most wrinkles on my body are consisted of, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We know.
We can tell.
We have eyes. Kidding.
oh wait, hold on. I forgot that I did this. So we are about to go preg check Regina. So we have to wrap this up in just a few minutes. But to end us out, I put a prompt on Snapchat. So if you're not following Snapchat, we do daily behind the scenes on there. We usually post like over 100 snaps a day. Like it's just
actually
what's
crazy.
going on throughout every single day. Like on the weekends when I like don't post a lot, it's still like 70 snaps. I posted a prompt that we were going to do Would You Rather.
Ooh.
So I'm going to ask y'all some, but then we're just going to hand the phone around
Okay.
so that you pick from it. Because it's
Okay,
not
okay.
fair if I'm like the only one
Yeah.
picking. Would you rather be able to see 10 years in the future or 100 years in the future?
I'm going 100. I'm going 100 for sure. I don't want to know.
I think I would also go 100. I don't
want to know anything
think
about
I
my
would
future
be
life.
interested in like seeing into the future of my life at all, because I feel like in some way, no matter like what it is, it would probably ruin something for me right now,
I got to go 100.
regardless of how it turns out. Like,
I would also say 100 due to the fact that 10 years ago from right now, I could not even fathom what is happening in my life right now. Like I didn't even know my husband. I didn't know,
Yeah.
like it is so different. And I would not want to, I would be afraid that if I saw my future, that my actions then would actually screw up my future.
yeah,
Right? Because
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
I just wouldn't want to know.
like I'm thinking about like I love my life right now. Like someone asked me, they're like, "What's your favorite age?" I'm like, "Whatever I am right now." And I think if I knew what was happening right now 10 years ago, I think I would have made different decisions because I'd be like, "Oh, well, I've got to be chasing this life happening," and I think it probably would have messed it up. Mm-hmm. So 100
Yeah,
years
100 years.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
The general consensus.
This is more so for you, but I'm kind of interested in the answer. Would you rather never listen to another song or never see or ride a horse again?
Never listen to another song.
Never see a horse again.
So you'd be out of the job.
I mean, music that's tough. I don't know. You don't think about it, but like you listen to music like every day.
Could I still
That's also my livelihood, though.
sing songs?
Like horses are.
Well, okay. Current like present situation.
Yeah, let's
taken out of
yeah.
job out of the picture. If this wasn't your way of making an income,
Everyone's job still continues. It's just with something else.
Would you rather never have music or never, let's just say, ride horses again?
And you don't get one more rod. You're done now.
You're done.
I do love music, but I think I love horses more.
But specifically riding?
I think I would have.
This is difficult
I'm gonna have to go.
because I think people are already going to clip this and be like, Katie doesn't love her horses. But think about this. There's going to be a whole section of my life one day where I can't ride horses. I'm going to be too old. I'm going to be pregnant. I'm going to be whatever.
And then you won't have music either.
Exactly. So I'm like, music can be my whole life.
Yeah.
It can be an integral part of peace, of mood setting, of joy. And you have to take into account, I absolutely love singing. I love making music.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh, I love listening to it. Like, no, I love being a part of the music. So while it would devastate me, I think it would have an overall more negative effect on my life to not have music.
Yeah, I think I would have. I think I need music. I think I'm giving up the
I think that's going to be
horses.
shocking to a lot of people. Okay, this is just wild. Okay, this one's just like, would you rather find a magical pen that brings your drawings to life or a pair of enchanted glasses that reveal hidden portals to other realms? This is wild. Because, okay, with the drawings, you could control it.
Yeah, you could basically, that like affects, I don't know, the things that you could have. Like,
But then I think of SpongeBob.
But
yeah,
here's the-
they
here's-
could take
SpongeBob,
over.
and they
This
take
is-
over.
this is the
Yoy me
kicker.
noy.
I'm not good at drawing.
I'm not
Neither was
either.
SpongeBob.
I would be
I'm
like,
not either.
I want a cool sword, and I would draw it, and it would look ugly. So I'm going portals.
That's true. I
Give
didn't
me
even.
glasses.
I didn't think about that. I kind of just took it as like, I draw like my version of a sword, and it like crafts me like a generic sword. Or is it like exactly what you drew?
There's no way to know, so I have to
It
go
says
portals.
bring your drawings to life. So I'm like,
I think it would be what you drew.
I don't want that. Then it wouldn't be nothing
I'm
good.
portaling.
okay, but how do you know if the portals are like good or not?
You don't.
I could just go.
You pop in and then you pop back out.
Yeah.
So you're both going portals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very solo leveling.
I
Yes.
think, I think because I'm a chicken and I'm like, you know what? I like this world. I'm going to just stay here. I think I could make the drawing thing very useful.
Here's my
Yeah,
thing
I
though.
get for sure.
I'm fine to stay here, but I also like wouldn't mind knowing like about the other realms. That doesn't mean you have to live there. You just get to
It's more adventure-esque.
yeah. Just visit.
I'm very like, I don't know. I'd rather just, I'm a chicken. I think I'm a chicken. I think I'm just,
That's okay.
I don't have a whole lot of adventure in me.
I mean,
think you'd rather remain
this is like your
ignorant.
first big trip in 9 years.
I think I'd rather have the control. I think we're diving into a therapy session of my control
this
freakness.
is it. And you know what?
My
You're,
need for
you're
control.
also a little bit better of a drawer than.
You know, the fact that you didn't choose to open portals in new realms is kind of making me think you might have some kind of like control issues. I don't know.
Okay. Would you rather have super speed or the ability to fly?
Fly.
This is just a super standard one.
Fly, fly, fly.
Fly.
Fly. Absolutely.
Now, there's a little adventure in you. Soaring.
I just
yeah.
feel like super speed anywhere would be really scary because there's so much like going on.
I feel like spying would be really easy with flying. I feel like travel is still easier with flying. You just skip over. You go as the crow
Yeah.
flies
Yeah, you
instead
don't have
of
to weave through things.
yeah. I think super speed would have some advantages, obviously, but like not enough in my everyday life.
Are we talking about like I can like run across water? Like I'm that speedy?
You have super speed.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, you're that fast.
Okay. Well, travel would be kind of
Also, you
kind
can
of
fly.
easy either
If
way.
you can fly,
But I imagine the super speed, you're faster than your flying speed.
I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd still choose flying.
Maybe say you fly at regular plane speed.
That's fast.
So like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to California, it'd still take you 4 or 5 hours of flying in the air.
Yeah, but
But-
you can just take a break whenever you want.
Right, but you could probably run in 20 minutes.
Oh my God. Where are these speeds coming from?
Super speed?
Yeah.
Super speed? I'm thinking like the Flash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could probably run to California in what, 5 minutes?
But think of like you can't just run straight, right?
Well,
It doesn't matter really.
When you move
do you
that
mean?
when you move that fast, time dilates and so time slows down. And so essentially you would be fine to run that fast even if you didn't run straight. Because everything around you would slow down so much that you would be okay.
My face is I'm just like so I'm thinking about X-Men, that scene where he's like Quicksilver is getting everybody out of the exploding building and it's like everything's just hanging in the air. I'm like my brain. I know that that's like a superhero movie, but I'm like I can't even like compute that.
So it's kind of similar to you know how sometimes we film slow-mo videos on our cameras. So we're just shooting in a faster frame rate so we can slow it down. So different animals in the same way, their brain processes at a different rate. And so they view the world at a different speed. It's probably why a lot of times some animals like they don't flinch at things that move quickly at them, or they can dodge really fast. Like you can't get them. Well, because to them you're moving slow. It's not fast.
Interesting.
To you, it's fast, but to how they're seeing it through their eyeballs, it's like,
Interesting.
Very interesting.
So same thing with your super speed.
Then I'm not sure. Because that'd be really convenient. I
You would
could
have no
travel
problem.
anywhere, but also like
Yeah, if I
It
could be like
kind-
Quicksilver. That is. I still think I'd fly.
I still think I would fly just because it sounds more fun.
Yeah, it
but I do
does.
love the
It does
travel
sound cooler.
convenience of the speed.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or
Okay.
100 duck-sized horses?
I kind of want to say the 100 duck-sized horses.
I think so too.
I mean, to be honest, I think a duck the size of a horse, I'm not getting anywhere near that thing.
I know that sounds so scary.
Like 1,000-pound duck.
Nah, give me the 100.
Yeah,
Because I think
just kick them.
even if they all attack,
100 horses that are like, what, 5 pounds?
yeah.
Not even.
So collectively, half the size of a horse.
Yeah,
Yeah, give me the 100.
yeah. I'm taking,
taking
the
the
100 for sure.
And I'm walking away.
Yeah,
I'm walking away from that one.
unscathed.
Okay, well, hope y'all enjoyed this episode, a little catching up of what's going on. We are hopefully going to have some baby goats here soon, so stay tuned for that. We do have some new merch in the KVS store, so we have lots of things that sold out. Like I said in the last episode, we made like the croc charms and the coloring books and the paint by numbers and everything like that available to subscribers first, and it sold out in like a day for a few of the products. So we do have like a notify me when thing set up on my website so that you could be notified when everything comes back into stock. We also have new foal merch. So all 2025 foals now have like a merch with all of their pictures on it. You can put it up here. It's really, really cool. It has like all their like faces and stuff on it. So go check that out at katievanslyke.net, and I'll see you in the next one.